Hello and welcome back. You know it's a Friday when the largest brewer in the country, East African Breweries Limited, announces its first half results for the year. Profit after tax is up 9% year-on-year compared to the previous year. The sweeter is this: they are paying a 3 shilling interim dividend per share. This is slightly up 20% compared to the last interim dividend that they paid same time last year. Key dates for this: 28th of February is the record date. That means that if you're on the shareholder register, then you qualify to actually earn this 3 shillings, and the payment is in April. Today, we are taking a slight tangent in as far as our production is concerned. Now recall, our focus is, are you investing on the NSE? Do you have access to the NSE? Do you even care for the NSE as a retail investor? I've managed to convince one of my colleagues, Mr. Sang, to join us and have a one-on-one conversation. It's a very easy conversation. It's a light conversation. Welcome to the show, Sang.
Thank you for having me.
It's Friday. Ukisikia EABL wame-announce numbers, are you excited? Do you partake of this product?
No.
No, you don't. So it doesn't
I
really
only drink water.
You only drink water.
Yes.
So when EABL announces it really doesn't affect your life.
It doesn't.
It doesn't affect your life. So then what do you do over the weekends?
Over the weekend, I normally do side hustles like taking photographs in events.
All right.
I also go swimming. Go play football.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
So you have a bit of money that you can put aside to invest in something.
Yes.
And what are your investments like today? What do you typically invest in?
Okay, mostly I'm into farming.
Okay, farming.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a small poultry farm.
Oh, fantastic. We need to be buying your chicken. You need to be bringing her every Friday to Nunue to Jenge, your hustle. Yeah. Okay. Are you when you hear about the locust, you're inakogopesha?
Yeah, inanishtua.
Inakushtua.
Inanishtua in a way. Because these are creatures that eats everything that is green.
So inaharibu maneno.
So it means my level of production will actually go down.
So it's a high risk for your current investment.
Risk, yeah, considering that I'm a farmer.
Okay. Yeah. Then does that open you to want to see what else you can do out there in terms of investments? Would you be open to understand what other opportunities are there?
Yes. An extra coin is not bad.
Have you ever thought of the stock exchange?
Yes, I have, but I'm hintless on what it is about. Okay. And I'd like to try.
You'd like to try? Do you have an account? Have you opened an account?
I don't have an account.
Do you know how to access it?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Two things.
Tell me.
Let me tell you. So the first thing, how you access the Nairobi Securities Exchange, you need to open a brokerage account. So a brokerage account is the same way you walk into a bank. You cannot transact with a bank kama hujaingia kwa bank na ukafungua account yako. So that's the same way that it works. So you go to a broker. There are many listed brokers and you can get them on the site of the NSE. Then you open an account. So they'll give you some documentation. Some allow you to do it online. Some require you to go to the branch. But the interesting thing is nowadays, most of them, the ones that deal with the retail investors, they allow you to put your orders to either sell or to buy shares online. You know, the same way you put your mobile banking instructions. So there's also mobile share trading. So you go on your phone, you put in your instructions, they do the instructions for you, then they come back to you.
Now I ask, what's the least amount of money that I can trade on that? Okay.
So how it works is for any purchase, you have to buy a minimum of 100 shares.
100 shares.
If it's 100 shares of Safaricom, Safaricom is now at 30 shillings.
30 shillings per share?
Yes, 30 shillings. So 30 times 100, that is 3,000.
3,000.
That's the minimum you would need. If you wanted to buy, say, KCB or equity, they're trading at about 50-51.
Why are they higher than Safaricom?
So what happens on the stock exchange, when you're buying a share, you're buying a price or 1 unit of that particular counter. But then now what happens, every counter has a certain number of shares. So it's like if you're in your farm, if you have a poultry farm, your poultry farm maybe produces 30 chicken. Then there's a neighbor who has 40 chicken. Then there's another neighbor who has 1,000 chicken. So everybody has the number of chicken that is, the number of chicken per farm is different. So what happens is now this company, the investors look at it and say, I think your chicken is more valuable than this chicken. So they multiply the price of that one chicken times the number of shares that are there. So that's what happens. So you'll find maybe KCB has slightly less shares compared to Safaricom. Safaricom has so many shares, so they can afford to divide the price and have a lower price at 30 shillings. But then the key number that you look out for to compare, to see if which is more expensive, which is more valuable, there's something called market capitalization. Market capitalization, you take the share price, that's 30 shillings, you multiply by the total number of shares. Total number of shares. It's the same way I'm saying, if I come to your farm and you're selling a chicken for 100 and you have 30 chicken, that's 3,000.
3,000.
If I go to the next farmer and he tells me, mimi kuku yangu ni 500 and he has 1,000, that's 50,000. So you see, that farmer is more valuable than you. Not that you're doing something different or anything, but just because of the number of chicken that they have and the price per chicken.
Understood. I'm allowed to ask any question?
Yes, please ask me 2 more questions.
So how do I make money after purchasing shares from a certain company?
Now with shares, like with any other investment, if you rear chicken, you're in the business of buying and selling. So you buy 1-day-old chicks, then you feed them for a certain period, then you sell. So that's the same thing even with stocks. With any investment, because you're focusing on how do I buy something at a low price and how do I sell it at a high price so that I can make a profit. So that's the same way that's the same thing that happens on the stock exchange. But then there are a couple of things. The stock exchange is a bit different because 2 things tend to drive what happens. The first thing is sentiment. So kuna saa wase wanajisikia na stock market, so demand ni high. Kuna saa ingine isoko ileti shagwe, demand iko low. Yo wanasema ngani? Market sentiment. Yo temperature kuna saa unakujaga na wase wanasema twende. You know, then at some point unakuja wanasema hii story ile. So unapata share prices ziko tu hivi. Lakini ile kitu ya maana sana ukiangalia stocks zozote, what is the business of this stock and how is it making money? Unaona kale venye tumeanza show tumesema EABL wamereport profit after tax.
The profit after tax.
So profit after tax ni umenunua kuku zako, 1-day chick, umezifeed, ukaziuza. Ukiziuza 500, hiyo ni revenue. Lakini lazima utoe ile cost ya 1-day chick, cost ya ule mse amewapatia food, cost ya maji, cost ya chakula zile wamekula, cost ya hiyo electricity, cost ya kila kitu. Kwa ulikuwa umechukua deni utoe ndio upate ile profit kabisa inakuja kwako.
Another question.
Yes.
What makes the value of a share to appreciate? And depreciate.
And depreciate. Mostly it's the future earnings power.
Future earnings power.
When the institutional investors buy shares, they look at Safaricom. Let's take East African Breweries for example, because they've announced today. So someone will ask themselves, do I think East African Breweries can grow faster than 9%? Sindio? So saisi bei yake iko 215. So 215 utachukua hiyo bei alafu utacompare earnings per share. So zile profits wameleta ukizidivide by the number of shares ni how much. So I compare hiyo earnings per share na hiyo price. Ndio apate multiple. Earnings multiple. Alafu ajiulize hii stock hii kampuni inaweza ikagrow faster than what it's growing today. Akisema labda hii kampuni inaweza ikagrow 20%, aseme maze hapa naweza get do. So utainunua hiyo bei leo. And then over 2 or 3 years, because revenues zinaenda juu na profits zinaenda juu, automatically watu expect pia price itaanza kwenda juu. Juu sasa watu watakuwa attracted kwa hiyo stock.
I also had,
does that make sense?
It makes sense. I also heard there is a type and then
there's
also type of share or something.
Yes.
And then there is a derivative.
Yes.
What are they?
Fantastic. So this is our last question. So shares are the ordinary shares that are listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. You know, when you open the business daily or when you go to the Nairobi Securities Exchange website, kuna kwanga ile page na kwanga na name of shares.
The name of shares?
There are bank stocks, there are telecom stocks, there are energy stocks, KPLC, KenGen. Zenye zimelistiwa hapo zinakwanga ordinary shares. Sasa NSE wameintroduce kitu inaitwa derivative. Derivative inamaanisha kuderive value from something. Deriving value. So if there's a Safaricom derivative, it says this thing that you're buying, it gets its value from Safaricom as a share. Let me put it simply. Nika kusema we ni mtoto wa fadhako. So you derive who you are first and foremost, your looks, your genes, you derive them from your parents.
My parents.
Your parents.
Yes.
So that's the same thing with the derivatives. So derivatives, it's a unit that derives its value from its underlying company, which is Safaricom. So what happens now? The derivatives market says this. You know, you need 3,000 to buy 100 shares of Safaricom. si ndio? So kama una hiyo 3000 hautaingia soko.
Yeah.
So what the derivative market comes and says, unaona nika Safaricom itaenda juu ama itaenda chini? Nasema naona itaenda juu. Basi si ununue leo at 30 bob badala ya kungoja ununue 40 bob. Lakini ukinunua leo at 30 bob, sitaki unipatie hizo do zote. Utanipatia a fraction of the amount that you would have paid. Juu sasa wao wakuzisha, wanakuzia a derivative. So wanakwambia labda unaweza ukeka up to 25% of the value of the unit. Juu sasa wao wameprice slightly differently.
Okay.
So unapatanga labda unanunuanga the way you'll buy your units utanunua kama shares. They will lump up a derivative, then you'll find broker anaweza akakwambia ukitaka kununua derivative ya Safaricom leo, ndio bei ya hiyo derivative. Na kwambia labda minimum value ni 350,000.
Okay.
Lakini akwambia what I need you to put down today it's 30,000.
Okay.
Alafu utaachwa bei ikienda juu utakuna anakupatia profit.
Okay.
Mpaka ifike hiyo labda 350 ama ipite hiyo 350.
Okay.
Lakini unaona venye ni complex.
Complex.
Ni
Two last
sana.
questions from me.
One last one. Let's take one last one. Then we can do this again hopefully another time.
I ask, when it gets to a point in time, I want to sell these shares.
Yes.
I've purchased the 100 shares.
Yes.
I purchased in Safaricom. How easy is it to sell those shares?
Boss.
And then another question. Who pays a broker? Is it the NSE or me, the guy who's...
Your phone.
Okay.
If you get a good broker, the most of the ones that are dealing with the retail, actually they do everything on the phone. Unaka order sahi in like an hour or two anakukonfirmia order yako ishafanywa. Soko inakuanga imefunguliwa 9:30 mpaka 3. Monday to Friday inakuanga closed on the public holidays. Now how much they charge per trade, it depends on the broker. But kuna wale wana charge 1.5% transaction cost na kuna ikienda sana labda itakuwa 2.5% transaction cost. Now to put it into perspective, unajua M-Pesa kila time unatuma doni hiyo 1%. It's the same. Yes. So it's just they charge you almost a similar amount to be able to buy for you shares or to sell shares.
Okay. I now understand.
Kidogo, at least. Yeah.
Thank
you. I hope you can really come back to continue this one-on-one.
I will.
All right.
When you invite me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That was Sang, and he is our colleague here at Metropole TV. We're trying to have a one-on-one and get his perspective on what are shares and what does it really matter if East African breweries reports a profit or not. Like, who really cares? So that was an interesting perspective, and we're really grateful for Sang being in the show. Now, we want to talk to the expert. We are speaking to Mr. Robert Yahweh. He is a financial coach. Now, he's been listening to this conversation. We want him to come in and to tell us, so this is where we are at, Robert. How do we move to the next level of investing on the stock exchange? We take a short break and we will be with you shortly. Again, engage with us on our Metropole TV handle, that is on Twitter, or you can also engage with me, and that is Mbithe Mwema on Twitter as well. See you in a few.